Hi, how are you all doing? Welcome to the channel. This is a recipe I promised to make. I'm going to make chicken risala with mince. Now I'm using beef mince, but you can use chicken mince, lamb mince, pork mince, beef mince, up to you. It's a straightforward recipe, but it's in like 3 stages if you like. You've got to marinate the chicken, make a cashew paste, and I'm making an almond paste to go with that actually. In an original recipe for chicken risala, you would have poppy seed paste and melon paste. Now I don't have access to that, I'm not making it, and I would imagine most people don't. So we're going to make an almond paste, and we're going to make it with carnation milk. Now you could make it with fresh milk, but I like the taste of carnation. It gives a nice creamy taste in our curry. Now it's straightforward. We just need to crack on and marinate our chicken. I've already put the turmeric in there just so I could get rid of the turmeric off the table. I don't want yellow all over. So that's got the turmeric in already. We're just going to go in there with a little bit of salt, and we're going to add some yogurt. So we're going to go in there with some yogurt. Now we want about half a cup actually, because this is actually going to go in all in our curry. So we've got about half a cup of yogurt there. And to that then we want to be adding about a tablespoon of garlic ginger paste. And that is going to be our marinade. So we'll just give that a mix through in there. And we're just going to leave this to one side for about 30 minutes. I've already made a mess, look. Now I've got about 1 kilo of chicken in here. It should serve up about 3 or 4 portions. So that is our chicken marinating. So that's chicken marinating. We'll bob that to one side. Just put that there a minute. Right, this is cashews, okay? There's 100 grams of cashews there, and it's actually soaking in water. Now you could soak it in milk if you want, that's up to you. But I'm soaking it in water, make them soft, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a blender and we're going to blend that. So just drain the water. Now I've had these cashews soaking for about 20 minutes, that's all. And they are quite soft now. So we're just going to stick that in a blender and we're going to blend it into a paste. Turn this around this way. Oh, we're all over the table, look. Right, hopefully that's got it. If it hasn't, we'll be chucking whole cashews in. So that's our paste. So we want to take that out of there. So that's our cashew paste in there. Then we need to make up the rest of our gravy paste. And what we've got in here, we've got ground almonds. And I'm going to add the remainder of this carnation milk, because this is going to be the fluid for our gravy. Give that a little stir through in there, and that those ground almonds that are in there will actually rehydrate a little bit in there. Now it's not going to make a dry paste because we want this wet gravy, and that mixed with the cashew paste is going to make a fantastic gravy for this risala. Now this is a cheat's way really, but you know, we need to make it easy. So that is our ground almonds in there. We have some big chilies, okay? Now these are absolutely enormous. So if we put this in there, actually our risala, it's going to be a whole chili in the pan. So we're just going to slice it through. Now what you would do, you would actually soak some saffron and you would stir the saffron in as a garnish over the end. Now we're not going to use saffron, but if you wanted to use saffron, put a little bit of milk in a tub, put a few saffron strands in and let it soak, let it rehydrate, and you're going to have like a yellowy milk, but the strands are going to be rehydrated. Now we're not going to do that. I have saffron, but I don't think saffron is needed as a garnish for this dish because we're making a whole pan of curry for 3 to 4 people. But the saffron is your choice. Now what I do want to toast these broken bits of almond, and these are going to be for garnish. As you know, cashews are quite oily, So just be careful how you toast them in the pan. So it's just a light toasting, a light browning over there. Now this is one of those unusual curries actually, which doesn't contain tomato. You know, there's a few of those curries knocking around, you know. Okay, that's about got it. Now what we need to do is we need to just take those out and let them cool down to one side. Okay, the cook on this is really straightforward. So what we need to be doing, we want to be going in here with a little bit of oil, and we're going to go in with ghee. You know, ghee actually makes this dish. But you know, that's up to preference whether you like ghee or not, and if you have ghee. So we're going to go in there with about, they're not proper tablespoons these actually, because they're running off. We are going in there with about that much. So what we need to be doing, we need to be heating up that pan with that oil in there and that ghee. Flame not too high. Okay, we want to be going in there with our garlic ginger paste. So there's about 1.5 tablespoons. Now I would recommend putting a heat tablespoon in, but you can go a little bit more. Not a problem. So give that a nice stir around in that oil. I'll go in with a little pinch of salt. I'll put the salt in now with the garlic, just to get that in there before I forget actually. And then we're going to go in with the spices. So in with our spices, as usual, a nice stirring round in the oil. And we need to cook these out in that oil. Now this smells amazing. Now traditionally in a risala, what they would do, if traditionally this, not BIR or anything like that, traditionally they would chuck in the cinnamon sticks, the green cardamom and everything, but I'm using the powder. So I've got ground cardamom, ground cinnamon, mace, whatever listed in the description below. It's all in here already. It just makes it a damn sight easier. Now I'll just give that a little minute in there, then we'll add our mince. Now I did say at the start I'm using ground beef. There's about 300 grams here actually. I'm using ground beef, but you know, you can use pork, chicken, lamb, beef, anything. Okay, in with our mincemeat. Now to be honest, it doesn't look the best quality mincemeat, even though it's supposed to be. So we just need to be giving that a little bit of a cooking in there with those spices. Just give it a breaking up as we go. We don't want big chunks of meat in there. Now just try and cook out as much as you can. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly cooked out. You know, it's going to be cooked for about another 10 minutes. And then we want to be going in there with some of our onion paste. Just give that a little working round. Now that smells amazing. I just need that to come back up to temperature. My onion paste has been stored in the fridge, so it's a little bit cool. It's not a worry, the onion paste is already cooked, so it's just going to come back up to temperature in the pan. There we go. Okay, and then we are going to introduce all that chicken and our marinade. In it goes. So just give that a little working in there. Now what you could do, you could cook the mince stage if you wanted, and you could take it out. Put some ghee back in the pan and chuck the chicken in. Cook the chicken, add the mince. Up to you. Now this is definitely one of those curries where you put a lid on. Definitely. This is going to have to cook in here for about 10 minutes. We want this because we're not using pre-cooked chicken, obviously. If we're using pre-cooked chicken, it wouldn't make any difference. But because we're cooking everything from fresh, that has to be cooked for about 10 minutes in there, and you will have to put a lid on. We need to be going in there with our cashew paste, and we're going in there with some of our milky almond mixture. We're going to give that a stir through, stir it all in there, and that's forming up our gravy already. In with the rest of our almond powder gravy. Stir that in. Looks a bit wet at the moment, but it's going to be in there for about 10 minutes. Cook that chicken in there, and then we'll take the lid off to thicken it up. So that's in. That's nice and straightforward. And then we want to be going in there with our chili. Put our chilies in, stir them in, and then we need to be putting the lid on. We're going to put the lid on and we're going to let it cook for about 10 minutes, and that chicken is going to be cooked through. We'll take the lid off and then we'll thicken it up, and that should be our curry made. So what you have to do with this type of curry, you do have to keep giving it a stir, because all that almond and that cashew paste in there is making it into quite a thick curry. So just make sure nothing's sticking on the bottom, and then put the lid back on and just finish cooking it out for about 10 minutes. Oh, okay, that's had a good 10 minutes in there. That is cooked through. That is marvelous. Just look at that. That is a nice thick gravy. You've got all the mince in there, look, and obviously you've got your chicken, bit of chili. That is it. Job done. Okay, so that is our risala with the mince made. Now, it is supposed to be a creamy mogul dish, and because there's nothing in there, you know, there's no redness in there or anything like that, when we serve it up, I'm going to serve it up with some fried onions, cashew nuts, and you would normally put a couple of mint leaves on, but I don't have mint leaves, so I'm going to just put a little bit of coriander leaf on just for show. So there we are. All we need to do now is plate it up. So just over the top there with some of those cashews that we dry fried, and top it off with a little bit of fried onion and a little bit of green for garnish. So there we are, that's our chicken risala with mince. A mogul classic, really creamy, mildly spiced, so it's not overpowering. Now if you wanted a bit more robust spices, you could actually chuck over some garam masala at the end of your cooking, but it's not recommended because it's not used. Serve it up the mogul way with some fried onions and some of our dry fried cashew nuts, and normally you would actually put on some mint leaves like I say, but I've only got coriander, so I put a bit of coriander just for the green, and that's it. That is our mogul chicken risala with mince made. It's a really easy, tasty dish. It really is creamy, it's delicious. Oh come on, the favorite bit of this. Let's get in here. Let's go in here. Oh, look at that. Little bit of onion, bit of cashew, we got that paste on there, and we got that chicken, and obviously it's got the mince in there as well. Oh, absolutely marvelous. Oh, That truly is a fantastic curry. Now if you like what we're doing, don't forget, smash that like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Catch you in the next video.